Well, that was a good segue. Dad knew we were talking Cam next. You want to talk Cam next, or you want to talk Lamar next?
Restroom.
Oh,
Bathroom break.
Wait. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. We're going to a commercial break because our 48-year-old host has a bladder problem.
Coffee and kombucha all morning.
Oh, yeah. What's up? Chris Simms is here. Paulie Burmeister and his old bladder are here. We got to get this show on the road. It's 1:30 on Wednesday. I mean, by 2:45 on Wednesday, he's probably going to need to step down and take a break.
You actually spotted me. I think you said 48.
I know. You're 49.
It's 49.
Yeah, how
man.
dare I? I don't want to do that.
I appreciate you thinking I'm that much younger.
Yeah, full year.
I'm all ready for the full hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah, ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
First thing I have to say, because it's official now and it just feels good. Welcome to the Chris Simms Unbuttoned podcast, presented by Verizon.
Look at you.
Presented by Verizon. And it just worked out. I've been a Verizon guy for a long time. I swear I have. I swear. Never been anything but it.
Yeah.
At least you don't ask for free stuff. Our other host that does every now and then.
Want some free stuff?
Oh, I mean, it's
like what?
Presented by Verizon. He's like,
where is it?
Can I get a free phone? Can I get, free minutes? Can I get a free hotspot?
My first thought when Pete told me, because I'm just coming off of watching as much of the Masters as I could, and all those guys have so many advertisements on them. I know you do the Lowe's commercial. I'm like, oh, Chris is going to have collars with one company here, one down this side.
I hope not.
One on the sleeve.
I like my fashion, so I don't want that to interfere with my look.
Someone could sponsor that little stripe.
Star
the font
Trek
would be
I
small.
think it would be Star Trek or something like that. It'd be very small.
Well, presented by Verizon. That's great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, we're moving up in the world.
Clearly.
I guess so.
Obviously.
What's up? What do you want to do today?
How about talk some football?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We talked the weather. It is officially winter here now.
Yes, it is.
Did you catch that? It's in the 30s.
It went from summer to fall, and then it went back to summer, where we had this stretch of 70-degree weather here, which was awesome, but also weird.
Yeah.
And then now it's winter.
Yes.
I mean, it is winter. It's 30 degrees out, and I froze my ass off this morning.
Yeah, same here on the walk there from the parking lot into NBC.
Yeah.
And this is a cool podcast because we not only have the regular games we're getting into, but as promised last week, we have the new top 10.
We do.
And knowing you the way I do and how you love to watch the quarterbacks, you put a lot of time into this.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you spent all kinds of extra time on this top 10.
I always. I mean, it's ever since Pete Dimalitalitis put this on my radar last week, I constantly think about it.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I want to be right. Second off, I want to be fair. Third, hey, listen, I like people to like me. I mean, not that it's going to make or break my life. But
we all do.
I don't want everybody on social media to shit on me, okay? Just 70%.
Maybe just half.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Half, whatever. So, yes, and I tinkered with it a lot. And even today, tinkered a little bit more. Had a list written down as I walked into the office today.
Yeah.
But had some arrows on it and was like, ooh, I might switch this and do that. I don't know where I'm going to go.
Right.
And I got down. I had 3 unspots where I just wasn't sure about what order I wanted to do it. I think I got it all right. So here we go.
I wish we could do something like that every week.
I know. Well, we could. I need to probably revisit a few. Like I always said, my receiver rankings were underwhelming for my expectations. And, there's probably a few we could probably hit up here at some point.
Yeah.
One that's really jumped out to me that's really hit my mind lately.
Yeah.
And this is a good one to, again, for social media, anybody listening to the podcast, where one that's just caught my, is wide receiver trios or offensive weapons or things like that. That's where, because
pass catching groups.
Yeah, there's just some sneaky teams right now where you go, man, that's a talented group. Like Carolina, they're sitting there at 2-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
But when you go McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore,
pretty good.
I want to do it for my own self more than not, just to go wait, how good is everybody's skill positions?
Pete,
those?
what do you think?
We'll see.
Next
we'll
week?
See one day.
Next Monday?
Yeah, we'll get there. Stop putting work on my plate, okay? I got enough things to do.
Hey,
okay?
Speaking of, this is very random.
Yeah.
Speaking of wanting people to like you, one of my sons was watching a show from the last couple of weeks and said, hey, Dad, you should go back and look at some of the comments people make about you. I'm like, I really try not to do that kind of thing because there's always people that are going to write something that you don't like.
Right.
So he's like, no, you really should. An incredible amount of references to me looking like Jeffrey Epstein, first of all. Have you seen this?
I have seen a few. I don't think you look exactly like him, but...
Well, it forced me to go back and look at a couple pictures of the...
Right.
And that's a little disturbing.
You don't look like Jeffrey Epstein.
That's nice of you to say.
Nor do you have the same actions as him either.
Well,
okay?
that's obvious.
That's the most important.
And then someone said last week, why did Paul dye his hair so it's not gray? I have never dyed my hair.
Never.
My hair is mostly gray, and it's doing a little something kind of different color now. I don't know what or why.
Yeah.
No dye.
He's growing his winter fur in, everybody. Relax. He's an old man. It's winter time. He's molting.
So I vowed to not read the comments anymore.
No, I know.
To hijack a couple moments like this, but
yeah. I go through this.
It was funny.
All the time. Because sometimes this is where I ask Pete to tweet sometimes and do things.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long day and I've defended myself on TV and the podcast and made all these. And, okay, it's time to tweet. And I really don't want to tweet the thought. Not that I don't want to tweet it. I don't want to get caught up in reactions to things I said the other way, where all of a sudden now I'm in 7 Twitter wars because I'm going, man, that is so stupid. I have to address this.
Right.
And then I look up and I go, man, I've been on Twitter for 2 hours.
Which ones bother you the most?
Probably just some of the, he said this once. They've never heard any context of anything I've said.
Yeah.
But they've taken that with them. And that's what they're going to make their basis on me all about. And I want to be like, your thought is you're taking one sentence, and I've explained it so much deeper than that.
Right.
And it's just stupid, everything you've said after that. So I don't even, and that's where I want to get into it and be like, I want to send a video. I want to get at the board and be like, listen, you're so
that's
stupid.
That's the problem, because in the moment, it can tap into your competitive nature, and you just want to fire right back. And it's hard to walk away.
It is hard to walk away.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I know I'm not right about everything, and I work hard at this. And I'm obsessed with it. I think you know that. And I do what I do. And here we go. Let's do it right now. And hopefully I'm answering questions and giving some people some football knowledge and maybe some more bullets to crap on me too.
Well, it's Wednesday, and this part of it's not sponsored, but it is a What the Fuck Wednesday.
Oh, yes. Verizon's sponsoring that too.
They are? That's nice of them.
It comes with the territory.
First game, Rams against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball, I think, are really interesting with this one. Let's start with the Seahawks offense against the Rams defense for a couple of reasons. Not only because I think it was an interesting watch for those 4 quarters, but there's some big picture things that creep in that really matter with Seattle. This is the first time they came into the game averaging 34 points a game, number 1 in the league. They scored in the teens. So that's a story right there. And this one-off story a month ago, hey, Russell Wilson had a bad game. He threw more than 1 pick in a game. It's now 3 of the last 4 games. He has multiple interceptions. They've lost all 3 of those games. So there's a disturbing pattern here with this team. And I think still a MVP candidate, but not as strong as it once was. For those of you watching with us, we're taking a look at his production, Russell Wilson's production, first 5 games, 19 touchdowns, 3 picks. He made it look like a video game.
Yeah.
Last 4 games, they're 1-3, and I don't think this number is up here. There we go. 10 total touchdowns, 10 turnovers. There's only 1 quarterback in the league with more turnovers than Russell Wilson. It's Carson Wentz. So with those bigger themes, a part of what we're talking about with this game, what happened with the Seahawks offense on Sunday?
Well, that's funny. I never thought about that. Those 2 guys are leading the league in turnovers. Well, they're both in a similar position where they're asked to be the team a lot, And again, I know Russell Wilson's doing a better job, but also has more talent around him and things like that too. But I think that's what it comes down to more than not just the base thought of Russell Wilson and what goes on with Seattle. Hey, listen, the offense has been very successful. They haven't really had to change the formula much. The only time they've been challenged as far as what the offense didn't do was what we talked about a few weeks ago. Patrick Peterson played one-on-one on DK, and they didn't answer the bell or attack him, right? So they've really had to make no adjustments through the year offensively. Everything they wanted to do has worked, and it's worked great with points and everything like that. But within that, too, that's a lot on Russell Wilson every week. And again, it's a good offense that has a lot of answers. Do I sit there and go, oh, my gosh, the offense is amazing, I'm blown away by schemes? No. I just go, I really like it. It's good. It's sound. They have answers. I'm not blown away by it. Nor, what I also would say about Russell Wilson in this situation specifically, again, the defense stinks. He knows he's got to keep the pedal to the metal and force the issue on the offensive side of the ball. But also, too, he's made some dumb decisions.
Perhaps the dumbest one in the first half on Sunday.
No doubt. I mean, let's start there.
Might as well start right there.
Yeah, okay. And let me button up what I just said there too. And then, because I want to say this. Because this game exposed something else, so now where they need to go, okay, and here's our next adjustment for the year. We can't let people play DK Metcalf one-on-one thing. We adjusted to that. Now I'll get into some of the specifics here again because we saw one-on-one in this game. But one thing I wrote down in my notes to this game, can they give Russell Wilson an easy throw? Is he allowed to throw screens? Is he allowed to throw a wide receiver screen? Are they allowed to throw a speed sweep or one of those shovel passes that, Patrick Mahomes gets 6 touchdowns a year on?
Right.
They don't do any of that for him. I think people need to notice that. There's no, let me take this play off mentally and just get an easy completion throw for Russell Wilson. And every other really top offense in football, there's many of them. I mean, Drew Brees, Jimmy Garoppolo, Cam Newton.
They all do it. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, as you mentioned, he does it.
Tons of them. The quarterback he played on Sunday, Jared Goff. I mean, he goes through quarters of a game where I go, damn, does he ever have to make a decision or a throw? Or is the coach just going to babysit him on every play? So that is going to lead to mistakes too. Now, that first interception was bad. Bad for 2 reasons. One, it's 17-10. They were not winning the game at that point, obviously down 17-10.
Down 17-10, and they had Jamal Adams had just created turnover. So
right.
They were in the plus territory.
You're thinking, here they go. Because the momentum was clearly on the Rams side. Yes, Seattle had 10 points to that point, but it was not easy, 10 points. It was work to get it. And here we go. We got a game plan play against a perfect coverage. All right. They got a receiver to the left, the tight end to the left. It's quarters coverage. They basically tell that outside receiver, I want you to kind of run at the inside shoulder of the corner. So he has to take you. And what they call this is a post versus cover 4. We're going to make them run a post to get doubled. Because they know if you kind of run it between the safety and the corner, it's in no man's land.
Right.
And they both have to kind of take you. Now, they have the tight end on inside who now is running the flat route, and they're going to have him run the up because they know, that corner is probably going to get antsy and go with that little skinny post to where we should have a huge window. Guy's wide open. Wide open.
Yeah.
Wilson decides to move in the pocket. He didn't really have to move. The protection was fine. If he sat there and just throw it, it's going to be one of his easiest touchdown passes of the year. But I can't fault him all the way. I understand why he moves. The Red Sea parted in front of him.
Wide open.
Right? So I think he saw that. Then he got into, wait, let me look over to that guy that we had this game plan play for that was probably open in practice all week. And he looked over and he went, damn, he's wide open. Mm-hmm. And he could have ran for at least 10 yards and might have been a touchdown. It's going to be him.
That's what made it look all the worse.
That's what made it look worse. Yeah. And then he throws it, but now it's a little late because he's moved in the pocket. The DB the corner who ran with the post.
Darius Williams did a great job.
Great game. Yeah. He's got nowhere to go now because he's getting to the back of the end zone. So now he's kind of looking back. Where's the quarterback? Where's the throw? He sees Russell getting ready to start throw that way. He comes off. And because Russell's late and because he's on the run, he can't throw a rifle like a laser beam in that scenario. That led to the interception. That was a big part of the football, or a big point in the football game for sure.
Huge part, because that would have tied it if he keeps it. Their first and goal inside the 10.
Yeah.
And I wonder, even with a guy who still deserves to be in the MVP conversation, he's playing incredibly well for the whole season. I wonder how much confidence and doubt and hesitation comes in when you're putting up those kind of negative numbers.
Yeah, for a guy like him, I think he is.
And maybe it doesn't.
I don't know if it affects him. I think it affects him in a way where he's like, I gotta, focus in more and laser-like focus. And I think he just gets more obsessive. I don't think he's like, oh gosh, I'm scared to pull the trigger now, and I don't know what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing ghosts out there. I don't think he's that kind of guy.
Right.
I've never seen him really flinch at any point of his career, ever. So he's made mistakes, yes. It's not perfect, no. We know they haven't had a running game as of late because Chris Carson isn't in there. So that's more on him. We know the defense stinks. And he played a team last week who was coming off a bye week and is damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, damn good. And they match up well with Seattle.
Clearly.
5 of the last 6 times they beat them.
Yeah.
And now, what do they match up well? Well, I talked a little on Monday. Hey, their front four is real, right? I mean, they're good enough to contain Russell Wilson and not let him make crazy plays that we see that are video game type things like you've mentioned. So they can do it. And then there was the great coaching by the defense of the Rams. I really love the Rams defense. It's one of my favorite watches in football.
What did they do specifically that's where I was talking about Seattle beaters the other way? What was the Seattle beater against this offense?
Well, I think the Seattle beater was number 20. Okay.
Jalen Ramsey.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I have talked about this in weeks past where the Rams were dabbling in this early in the year and going into the bye week, but not going all in on it, where it would be like, hey, Jalen Ramsey, this is like Revis Island stuff with Rex Ryan and the Jets. You cover that guy, and we're going to play a totally different coverage with everybody else because we're paying you $20 million.
And that's what they did.
And for a big part of the football game, they did that. But they didn't do it so much to where you could just go, they're doing it every play. They did a good job of, okay, it's 2 plays in a row. Now this play, we're going to play zone. And he won't even be on the side of DK Metcalf. So the offensive play caller, Schottenheimer, was probably going, damn, I can't get a feel for what down and distance they're going to run this defense. A few times they made it look like it was going to be like he's matching a man-to-man. And then they played Tampa 2 or cover 2. So now they're thinking, oh, we're going to get that man play where he's going to DK. Oh, wait, it's zone. What are we going to do? But then they would play Tampa 2, and he would be man. Everybody's playing Tampa 2, but he's man on DK Metcalf. Or they're playing cover 3, and he's man on DK Metcalf. So they did things like that. They really keep you off balance. It's really well coached. It's creative and exotic, but not exotic to where I go, oh, that's not sound. Somebody's going to burn them at some point. I really look at it and just go, no, this is a really well coached defense, talented, and they have a guy that can match up with DK Metcalf.
So was it creative enough, sound enough, highlighting the really strong individual abilities of Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah.
All those things, are those things that good where you can make sense of the fact that DK Metcalf not only didn't have a catch, wasn't targeted until the second half?
Yeah, I think it can. I think when you couple it together, first off, Jalen Ramsey is a freak show. You know, just off the top of my head, I'm not trying to make a list here or anything, all right? Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Gilmore, and Marlon Humphrey, to me, stand apart in the rest of football at corner.
Okay, but you're not even mentioning the one for Arizona who shut him down a couple weeks ago,
Patrick Peterson. I know. Now, Patrick Peterson, he did a good job, but remember, I blame Russell Wilson for that. I said there was a number of plays, DK Metcalf's wide open, and you have to play him.
Didn't get to him. Okay.
This wasn't the case this week. Now, he is physically a great matchup for DK Metcalf because of his length, his size, and then he can also match him with top-end speed. So he doesn't have to be like, you know, one of these guys that always has to play for the go route. I need to get on top of him and because I'm scared he's going to run around me. And then Metcalf runs a curl route, and you go, God, the guy's 10 yards off. You know, Jalen Ramsey can challenge you and then go, no, I can run with you. And then I don't have to worry so much that you're going to outrun me in a go route that I can kind of stay in your hip pocket when you start to break down and run a curl route and challenge that route. So he's special that way. But I think this is the other thing, the other part of this. This is where you have to do more with DK Metcalf. You know?
Do more pre-snap or?
Everything. Can we send him can he move? Does he have to just go, hey, never. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there was a play in the game where he motions. It's just break the huddle, he lines up there, and then everything else. Can you motion him? Can you stack him? Can you put him in a bunch? You know?
Does he line up in the slot at all?
I mean, rarely. And then it's a limited route tree to go along with it. I mean, really, if you break down DK Metcalf, and I don't but I would bet you the majority of his routes are slants, goes, and probably like a 20-yard in cut.
Yeah.
It's very easy to figure out, I think, for a lot of these D coordinators. So to me, that's where it's got to change.
Yeah.
It's got to change that way a little bit. Can they run some wide receiver screens for him? Can they run the speed sweeps, the little quick shuffle passes? Yeah. Those things.
It could be a killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Because a couple of moments ago you said, hey, can they get Russell some easier completions?
That's where I wanted to go with
Maybe
this.
if they get those to DK.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't, again, Brady and Gronk and all those years, right? Okay, I'm just taking one where I go, this team knew how to use this guy, right?
Right.
Or even Michael Thomas with the Saints.
Yeah.
Move them around, stack them. You got to do different things with that type of player. The attention is going to be on him at all times. So at times you got to give them little ways to where, you give them an advantage off the line of scrimmage. Or when you move in motion and you're playing some of these complex defenses, it's going to mess them up. Like if they were playing Tampa 2, and then all of a sudden it's Tampa 2, but it's lock on DK Metcalf with Jalen Ramsey. And all of a sudden they motioned him or did something crazy. That might mess up their Tampa 2, where all of a sudden they go, wait, we can't run this coverage now with him over here and do this. They never really challenged that aspect of the Rams either, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
But I would just like to see that's the next step.
Yep.
Because this was a game now where you might have to play this team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're going to have to play them again in the regular season.
Right.
And they're, but they're one of the few teams in football that has a guy
that can do that.
That can kind of like one-up your guy, or at least stay with them.
And I think those are really good ways of looking at it, or good points to bring up, how the scheme, pre and post, it could really help DK Metcalf be even better. But
yes,
more often than not, when they were going at it, when
yeah.
it was DK Metcalf against Jalen Ramsey,
right.
Jalen Ramsey got the best of it.
Definitely.
Did it make you come off of your hard stance that this is the best receiver in football?
Yeah, it made me think a little bit. It did. But I still don't know if I am going to come off of that quite yet, just with
still
one
there.
game
Yeah.
in a perfect, perfect matchup.
I'm not saying what one game should change.
No,
I was watching
you.
that and I wondered.
Yeah, no, it crosses my mind always because, I know I've said it for about 3 weeks now. Right? I think he's the best receiver in football. He'd be the guy I'd take. So I get what you're saying. He's not perfect, certainly not. But, another aspect I would like to look at, too, just when we talk about, like, easy completions and things like that, it doesn't really have to be screens. Mm-hmm. You could use the Green Bay method, too. Devontae Adams is not a guy that, like, scares people and runs by them. Right? And I know I didn't have him in the top 10. But you know how he runs by people a lot of the time? They throw a slant. They throw a slant. They throw a slant. Oh, they fake the slant and he runs a go.
Yeah.
And they could do that with DK. That's one thing. They run a lot of double moves with DK, and I want to go, yeah, but you didn't ever run the first part of that play all day long. So why would Jalen Ramsey jump the double move when he's never had to cover that route originally to begin with? Who the f cares about an out and up if you haven't thrown the out to make the guy go cover it? The up isn't going to be effective.
And once again, ties together with your main point here of getting some underneath throws helps in so many
ways. It just got to be a little bit. I think it'll make them more effective. And, listen, I root for Russell Wilson in Seattle. And really, when I watch film and games, I try to put myself in that team's shoes. Ooh, what would I do? How would you fix this situation? I'm not like in a rooting interest, and that's just something that jumps out to me there.
Thinking of fixing the situation, when I say Russell Wilson is the leading rusher for the Seahawks,
thank you.
What's your reaction?
Point proven. Yes, it's too much on him.
Yeah.
So that's where, again, I would be shocked this week between the comments I heard on Pete Carroll and Chris Carson coming back.
Which is huge.
Right,
yeah.
where I think you're going to see a little bit more of a running attack. Because I think Pete Carroll's going to go, okay, I mean, hey, listen, I want to let Russ cook and all that, but now we're cooking some bad food, and I don't like that. It's overcooked, all right? And he's going to want to get back to that, and probably to help his own defense a little bit, too.
As far as that part of the game, the Seahawks offense, Rams defense, I'm turning the page here to look through the other side to start with the Dolphins and the Rams offense. You ready there?
I think so. I think we hit it all.
I think and again, I think it's just contextually and anecdotally, it's nice to have the bigger picture in mind.
Right.
And I don't think you can look at the success the Rams had against the Seahawks Sunday without thinking about they got embarrassed. Not only beat, they were embarrassed the week before against Miami.
Right.
They had no answer for the blitz. Jared Goff was a turnover machine. He was really good. The offense looked to have a better plan. So I think you have to consider the response to a horrible performance the week before when you think about what they did against Seattle.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what happened Rams offense, Seahawks defense?
Well, I think I didn't look at it as necessarily a different way of what the Rams do to attack.
It sure worked out better.
It worked out better because it was a different defense they had to play.
But Seattle's an aggressive defense too.
Seattle is an aggressive defense, but they don't have, the talent on the front line Miami does. They don't have the corners that Miami does. And quite honestly, Brian Flores' defense is just more, diverse and better coached than Seattle.
Right.
There's no other way I can say that.
Yep.
As much respect as I have for Ken Norton Jr. and Pete Carroll, hey, Flores is special that way. He spent a lot of time with Bill Belichick. They do some special things. Seattle right now is just aggressive. That's the only thing I can tell you that's similar to Miami. I just go, yeah, they're aggressive like Miami.
Yeah.
But the comparisons kind of end there.
Yeah.
And, when they're aggressive and then they also know that they're compromised at certain possessions, they just have to overplay their hand too much. I mean, some of these drives by the Rams,
the first 3 times they touched the ball, over 70 yards all 3 times, field goal and 2 touchdowns. And just like the week before against Buffalo, where we sat here a week ago and I said, well, Josh Allen had some easy throws. Goff stuck it in there a few times, but for the most part, I'm like, these guys are wide open.
I know, and I don't want to take anything away from Jared Goff, but yeah, you're right.
He was good.
He was good.
He was good.
It was a handful of throws, but like you're saying, and listen, it's not his fault that the other team can't play defense against simple plays.
Right.
I mean, you're right.
What's the deal? Why is an NFL team so aggressive?
Right.
They stay committed to being that aggressive.
Yeah.
And we all know that leaves you vulnerable if you're not talented enough to cover it up. Why is it week after week guys running free against this team?
Because they've had to overcompensate with aggressiveness because they can't even play the normal, like, just, hey, we're going to play conservative bend. They're just not talented enough. They're not. They're not talented enough, and they're not even well coached enough to where when I could show you a number of plays every week where I go, look, it's Tampa 2, or this is cover 4, and they mess it up.
Yeah.
I mean, every week. So I don't know what to say that. I mean, listen, let's go to our play, Pete, here. This is a great, because I know we have, this is on the opening drive, I believe, right? It's
yes.
And I'm sitting here because it's what the happened Wednesday, and I'm going on this play. What the How does this guy get this wide open? So it's the old play action pass from the Rams. Nobody's got more play action boots and screens than Sean McVay. He's up there in the league leaders. They're going to run basically the old double crosser here. So you see there's the act of the play action. Goff still has the ball. You could see the 4 DBs, right? It looks quarters. It's quarters. Mm-hmm. Every guy has their quarter of the field. All right, let's go to the next picture here. Next picture, okay? So now you see where we're at here. The top receiver running the deep cross. The receiver down here at the bottom at the 29-yard line is going across the other hash. The safety closest to him, okay? So let's go back to picture one more time just so I can make sure we get everybody right here, all right? Just to do this so I can explain this. Jared Goff is the quarterback. To his left is number 21 Flowers. The safety to his left is 33 Adams. The safety to his right is 37 Diggs. And then the corner up top, I want to say is, oh man, I'm blanking on his name. I want to say it's 28, but I think it's DJ Reed, 29, okay?
5'9" guy, yeah.
So now the receiver on the bottom, 11, Reynolds. He's running a 12-yard crossing route. The safety to that side, Jamal Adams, in this quarter's coverage, is taught to cut the crosser. Now, he cuts the crosser. You know, you could see him right now in this picture.
When you say cut the crosser, that means he's going to jump it?
He's going to jump it. He's going to try to cut it off. And you can see in this picture right now, Jamal Adams is at the 30-yard line right by the hash there.
Yep.
He is looking at a number 11. His eyes are on him all the way. And both safeties are kind of looking at that guy. So he crosses. Now we can go to the next picture. You'll see Jamal Adams is going to jump Reynolds. Okay, so now he jumps Reynolds. Now, when you do that in these quarters coverages,
they're supposed to jump that much.
He is. This is a rule in this one. It is. Trey Flowers on the bottom here, he has no threat to his quarter. He has to fill in now for Jamal Adams. He has to get back there. But as you see in this picture, for some reason, he's still looking at the running back in the flat after the play action fake. No, there's no reason to be there. KJ Wright's there. He's the flat defender in cover 4. So as the play goes, and let's go to the next picture, you can see Flowers can't get back there in time. He's way out of position. And it leads to Cooper Kupp really being wide open, and it should have been a touchdown.
Wide open.
But Goff threw a safe ball just to make sure he got the completion, and it goes down to the 5-yard line. But it's little things like that every week, and that's not little. I mean, it's little because that's a coverage.
It's a 40-yard gain.
It's a 40-yard gain against a coverage you put in the second day of training camp.
Yeah.
And you just go, how do we not know every rule about this by now?
And you just mentioned it happens every week, and I like it when these things tie together.
Yes.
So that's a major hole in the defense
That's
on the first drive.
Right.
Last week we sat right here, and we talked about the first touchdown pass Josh Allen threw.
Yeah.
What was it? It was a crossing route.
Where
somebody jumped something underneath.
Jamal Adams didn't cover him.
Same thing?
Well, it's not the same thing.
It's
it's just another example of, they don't do the right things. Their rules get lost all the time. They have issues there. So that's where I think they go, wait, we can't play man-to-man. We can't rush the passer. When we play just our simple zone coverages, we get picked apart, and we have guys that mess it up all the time.
Right.
So why don't we just pressure people and blitz and put people at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
But when you have a good play caller like McVay and things like that, oh, man, you're aggressive? Oh, you want to stop my run? Oh, boot, screen, boot, screen, play action. I mean, that's why you're saying it was an easy day for Jared Goff.
A lot easier.
Right.
And let's bring it back to that.
Yeah.
You talked about the run, and we mentioned the fact that Russell Wilson didn't have any of that. He's a leading rusher for that team. The running game wasn't awesome for the Rams, but it did its job. 3 backs, 23 carries, 99 yards.
That's it.
keeps the passing game on schedule, lets McVay be McVay. I mean, that's a massive thing that Jared Goff had that Russell Wilson did not have on Sunday.
No doubt about it. It does. And then think about all the easy completions and how life is so much easier for Jared Goff. How many times did Jared Goff get to, fake the ball to the running back and just look at the first guy and go, he's wide open.
Yes.
Let me throw it to him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's 10 yards over the middle. Maybe he's 1 yard over the middle. Maybe he's behind the line of scrimmage in the flat. Either way, he's wide open, and I didn't have to think. Great advantage for him. And Gruden, McVay, this is where I always give them, they're not known for their running, but they're going to run because they want to throw it effectively.
Yeah.
And they're great at staying patient with it. And as long as McVay is not just like getting 0-yard runs, he's always patient with it. He's not looking to blow you out of the water.
Right.
He just wants to, like you said, do it till you have to defend it.
Yeah.
So it's just effective enough to open up all my other things to screw you over.
Right. And it's funny how quickly things change because they used to be able to do it at a much higher level with one guy.
Yeah.
Now they got 3 decent guys.
Right.
And you sprinkled around, and none of the 3 had an awesome day. But when you put it together, it's like, hey, Rams run game, win.
Rams run game, Rams screen game. Who do I worry about in the screens?
Yeah.
I don't know. They throw them to all of them. I mean, I think you saw my notes towards the end of my notes because we're getting to the third, fourth quarter. I wrote, how many screens do the Rams have?
Right.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and I wrote, they have to be the league leader in screens, especially to wide receivers. And I don't know if you can look that up, Pete, but I would think that's certainly the thing. And here's the last thing I'll say, just to button this whole thing up. We've talked enough about the Seahawks, their issues. I always try to sit there and go, man, what do I do if I'm the Seahawks? How do you fix this? There's only one thing I can look at to where I'd go, ooh, I like this aspect over the last few weeks. Talked a little bit about in the Buffalo game last week. Happened again in this game, and I think there was some good success. I like when I don't think they can change their aggressive nature to a degree. It has to be there a little bit. They're just not good enough to not play that way.
Yeah.
But the one thing I like they do off of it is when they get like, ooh, there's 8 and 9 guys at the line of scrimmage, and it looks like and they all drop out, and then it might be a 3-man rush. To me, that would be one thing I'd go, man, if you, through your study during the week, if you can just, err on, oh, we figured out in this personnel or this down and distance, it's more throw than run or whatever, your scouting can figure that out, to maybe take a few more chances that way and not always be like, we're going to blitz 6 and 7 and do all that. And all you have to do is throw it 4 yards over the middle and we won't have anybody covering them, so no problem. No. I think they've given Josh Allen, and I think they gave Jared Goff a few issues the other day when they did that stuff. They were like, whoa, there's nowhere to throw. I haven't seen them do this a lot. And I just think that would be one thing. If I could just throw my 2 cents into what I'd like to see them do, that would be it.
I think those were good suggestions. One way of looking at it with the Seattle offense, making things a little bit easier for Russell Wilson sometimes. And I like what you just said about the defense, too, about the way they can change it up.
Thank you.
NFC West, I want to take a look at the odds this week versus last week. This is from our partners at PointsBet Sportsbook. And for the NFC West, last week, Seattle, pretty clear favorite. And after that loss, their third in the last 4 games, it's now Arizona as the favorite to win the NFC West. We have the Cardinals, the Rams, Seahawks, all at 6-3. If you had to pick one right now that you think is the most likely, the way you see it, to get it done, who do you like?
I think I'd go with the Rams.
Yeah.
I think I would.
That's what I had written down, too, and I thought it would be opposite of you.
It's tough.
I thought you'd go Seahawks or Cardinals. Biggest reason you like the Rams.
I think they're the most complete to me. Where the Rams, I just go, hey, listen, their drop-back pass game and they have to rely on Jared Goff. That's not their strong point. But to me, that's really about the only weakness I see in their football team.
Right.
That's it. Where the Cardinals are getting better.
Yep.
And I'd go, I'm liking more and more of what I see there. But I guess I'm just not sold all the way yet. And then Seattle, I just go, I won't be shocked if they win the West because number 3 is awesome and he can do it.
Yeah.
But that's a lot on one guy. I'm just not sure he can pull it off. And they got some pretty tough games coming up here too.
Rams to win the NFC West. Does that mean Jared Goff is going to show up in the top 10?
No.
Quarterbacks?
Nope. Team sport. Sorry.
Okay, we put to bed the Rams and the Seahawks. Let's move on to one of the really fun matchups this past weekend. The 5th pick against the 6th pick. Justin Herbert against Tua. Dolphins knock off the Chargers 29-21. I feel like we spent a lot more time on, obviously he's been playing a lot more, on Herbert so far this season on the pod. let's kick it off here with Tua. And I didn't watch him too closely last week. And 2 weeks ago in his first start, he didn't have to do a whole lot.
No.
There wasn't much to address.
No.
This week, I watched the entire thing. I know you watched it more than I did. What did you think of Tua in this win?
Well, another nice step in the process. Like, do I still have questions that I'd like to see answered? Yes.
What's the biggest one?
Well, the biggest one is we've yet to really see him in an extended period of time in a football game where it's like, hey, you know, no run game, no boots. Like, you got to make some stuff happen here finally. You're going to have to drop back play after play and make throws. Our defense and special teams haven't spotted the lead. You know, and not to say you can't do it. I'm just telling you the fact is we haven't seen them do it yet.
Which just speaks to how well the defense and special teams have been
They're
playing.
amazing.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They really are. And I know we saw it a little in the one drive against the Cardinals at the end, so that was cool. I got it. I hear you. I saw a little. All I'm saying is I got to see more. You know, I've seen everything else, but there's stuff to, you know, love about his game. There is his ability to throw in the run. I've said this for 2 weeks in a row. It is really damn good. In fact, sometimes I walk away going, I think he throws the ball better on the run than he does when he's in the pocket.
Really?
It seems like he's able to create more power on the football at times as compared to the pocket. But, you know,
I've been pleasantly surprised at him throwing from the pocket. Just the rhythm, the ball handling.
Perfect.
Isn't it pretty?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
His rhythm and all of that is perfect. You know, accuracy is really damn good. You know, the way the ball travels through the air, I'm not going to say I'm sitting here going, wow, about that aspect yet. But the other thing, too, for the second week in a row, you know, he's got tremendous touch. So when he finds a little one-on-one matchup, whether it's an out route, which we saw a few in this game, or just the go route, he throws the appropriate ball. He does. Now, the out route, what I want to see is like, oh, if it's really tight, are you going to be able to get it in there, right? That's one other thing I want to see.
He's able to make up a little bit for that arm strength, which is okay, with his timing and accuracy.
Timing and accuracy, and he's got a very quick release. He really does. And he's got really great feet, as I said last week. But, yeah, I think we're still – I know everybody wants this, like, final verdict. Is Tua the franchise and the guy or not?
He's played 3 games.
He's played 3 games, right. They are in a really good spot as a football team, and I think they're playing a style in which he wants to play. Yeah. And I think it's all going in the right direction.
Moving in the right direction.
Right.
Which parts of his game? I think a couple parts would be good because he's playing pretty well. Yeah. Do you watch and you're pleasantly surprised by based off of all the work you put in watching him this spring?
Yeah. I guess the thing that I like more than anything, not to say I didn't think he could do any of it, but again, we saw a few plays of play action down the middle. Okay, I like the way that looked. You know, he's almost doing an interception one time doing it. But his presence, his charisma, his calmness, I think all rubs off on the football team. I like that. You know, again, my big question coming out in the draft was just about pocket-type throws, big moments, pass rush is good this week, whatever. Is he going to be able to overcome those type of things? I don't know yet, but he hasn't had to.
Right, we don't know, and you're exactly right. He hasn't had to. He's been put in perfect places by his defense and special teams.
Saw a few RPOs in the game like that. That was nice.
It has looked, from the pocket, has looked better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I hear you.
Are you in that camp too?
Well, no.
I know it's a small sample size.
Yeah, no, but it's looked good. There's no doubt. And I really love him in the short passing game. Like, hey, listen, his first touchdown pass, the 3-yard pass.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's not special and people won't look at that, but that again takes it's not easy scoring touchdowns that close to the end zone. There's a lot of people in a small condensed area, and it goes back to like his timing, anticipation. He knew the play, he knew the coverage, he knew the window was going to be like, it's going to be there, but it's going to close in a hurry. And his ability to kind of get his feet in position and get the ball out of his hand just at the right moment and squeeze it in there, those are the things I think I like more than anything about him right now.
What are the concerns, even though the team's winning, he's playing his role really, really well?
Yeah.
What bothers you?
Well, I don't know if it bothers me. Just, right now, he's managing the game and they're managing him. Right. And that's it.
It's gone, perfectly to script.
But there's nothing, again, when I say that, and I've said it on the radio a few places here, I think people are think that's offensive at one point. And I go, no.
Which part of it?
Just that like he's managing the game.
I mean, he was 15 out of 25 for $169.
But nobody wants to hear it because in Alabama he was God, and like he still should be God. Like so that's where it's just like it's okay that they're doing this. He's young. He's learning to play football in the NFL, and even though I say they're managing him, which they are, and he's managing the game the right way. They're doing that, too, because that's the style of football I believe Brian Flores wants to play, too.
Right.
He's a defensive coach. He wants to run the ball a little bit. He doesn't want his offense to screw the game up. You know, I think his worst nightmare was Ryan Fitzpatrick, 5 receivers. We're going to throw it every play. 1 week he'll throw 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Next week he'll throw 400 yards and 7 interceptions. I think that was a nightmare for him. So he's doing what he wants to do, and he grew up in the New England era of the first 3 Super Bowls, where it was defense, run the ball, Brady will make a few throws, and he'll be clutch at the end. And I think that's where he looks at his team and goes, that's what I want. I'm building that.
You know who else would like that? The quarterback on the other side of the field. Justin Herbert, I mean, probably watched some of that and said, boy, if my defense and special teams played that way, we wouldn't be losing all these games by 1 score.
They're so frustrating, the Chargers, everything. They annoy me as a football team right now.
What's the most annoying?
You know, mistakes weekly, you know, the way the game's managed in general. I mean, again, here's another game where they did a disservice to Justin Herbert. I mean, just disservice.
You talking line, run game?
Yeah, all of it. Just too much run game, too much run-heavy centric moments to where, okay, great. Oh, yeah, you're getting the defense a rest and you're doing those type of things. You're going to lose the game, though. That's great. You're going to lose. I don't know any other way to say it. You know, they just do a bad job of getting him in a rhythm, you know. And then in this game, I felt like they were almost intimidated by the Dolphins' blitz package that has given people issues.
Yeah.
So they were like, we're not going to do that. We're not even going to get in the shotgun. We're just going to beat our head into the wall and run it every play.
You think they were a little intimidated or at least affected by what they saw last week?
I think so. And between the Rams game the week before, right, you know, against all that, I think they looked at that and they were like, we don't know how to pick this up. We don't have the right plays to figure this out. So let's just run the ball and they'll stay simple that way. And that's annoying too because it's not, again, the strength of their team. The strength of their team right now is Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry. That's what they do. And they don't force any pressure on you with those guys. And to me, that's where they're dropping the ball.
20 out of 32. So you'd like to see him throw it 40 plus times a game.
Yeah, yes. I not that it has to be that way, but you know, I think it's also about how the passes are called. And I think we got a little back into the old, like...
It was pretty conservative.
Very.
Yeah.
And then it's, you know, you think you're doing the quarterback a favor, and I go, no, he hasn't thrown the ball in 4 plays, and now you want him to make a really high-level throw, and that's just not cool, you know, and against a really talented defense. You know, so they never got him in a rhythm in the football game throughout, and I think that's where I get annoyed with them.
And anytime I see a quarterback with less than 10 yards per completion, with this kind of talent for throwing the ball downfield, with Justin had on Sunday, 20 completions for only 187. Was that more scheme? Do you think that they were calling for those shorter passes, or was he coming off of guys downfield too early?
I don't think he came off guys too downfield too early. You know, I think Miami was cognizant of that, but I also think they lacked plays to attack that all the way to really take advantage of that. Again, I think they were a little into like, oh, we can't handle the pressure, this, all that. We'll get the ball out of our hands quick this week and do that. At no point did they put the pressure on the Miami defense. Never. Even when they made the game 17-14, you went, okay, but man, that was a lot of work. Yeah. 11 plays, 37 yards.
I know.
You know, 9 of them were runs.
I have written down here, seems to be a defensive mindset with their play calling.
It does seem to be that way.
Kind of want to absorb, don't make a mistake.
I'll let
instead
my
of being
running
aggressive.
game.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Lynn's an ex-running back. That's what he wants to do. And it just, again, that's fine, but the team isn't built that way. And that's
big win to Miami for making
me.
a team feel that way when they're calling a game.
Definitely.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Miami's got some really borderline elite things about their football team as we go here. I love the look of Miami. You know me. I'm into how do they look off the bus? What do they look like in their uniform? How do their legs and ass look and all that?
Yeah.
Man, they got studs at every position. I mean, they've done an amazing job. But, yeah, the Chargers, the Chargers are frustrating, and I did not love their plan of attack.
It doesn't mind me just to have, like, when you're watching them, just an extra tick, an extra level of energy or something out there that the Chargers certainly didn't have it. Scheme aside.
No.
Just the way that they play looks, the energy level and aggressiveness.
They're flying around.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. It pops
There's
off
a real
on
thing
it.
with that
There's
team.
a real belief, I think. They got a mojo right now where they feel the momentum. I think they realize, whoa, we're talented, and it's all kind of coming together. And I would say watch out for them, because Miami is one of those teams, too, where I just go, not that they're perfect, but I don't know if there's any team out there that's a true mismatch for them.
Yeah.
They're really well built to where they can be big on defense, they can be fast on defense, and then on offense, they can kind of do a little bit of everything, too. I know Tua's not where we need him to be quite yet to maybe win a shootout type of game, but
He hasn't thrown a pick yet.
no, he's being smart. He's been in Alabama. He's had Nick Saban. Now he's got Brian Flores. He understands the big picture of the game. Mm-hmm. He understands he's got a defense and special teams, and he's not going to try to mess that up.
And he's a lefty.
And he's a lefty, so he's really smart.
All right. So that's Tua. That's Herbert. Fun rookie matchup. Unless you want to make a couple more comments there.
I think that's it. That's all there is,
Another quarterback situation getting a lot of headlines right now. New Orleans.
Yeah.
Drew Brees going to be out for a while. Injuries to his midsection. So before we worry about what Jameis and Taysom might do in the coming weeks, Sunday, what changed, if anything? And I know you pay close attention about the play calling and the scheme in that second half.
Yeah.
When it was a little bit of Taysom Hill and a lot of Jameis Winston.
Yeah, well, when it's Taysom Hill, it's easy. It really just got into – he had one real pass where it's like the pass they almost run every time he's in. Run a post, somebody runs a post, somebody runs a deep crosser because they're expecting, they're going to play some defense to stop him running the football, so we'll get a big gash out of the pass play here and do that. After that, it was all Lamar Jackson type runs, double pulling guards, I'm keeping it, doing that. Hey, and if people want to know, this is another reason why Lamar Jackson in the running game in Baltimore are dominating this year, because any team that has a quarterback that's mobile right now has stolen those plays. So now their defense gets to practice against it in practice every day, and you get to see it all the time. So now where some of these Lamar Jackson plays are not going to trick people or be like, oh, we've never seen this before. But back to the point, they ran the ball with Taysom Hill. When Jameis Winston came in the football game, they ran basic New Orleans offense. Is it as complicated as Drew Brees' offense and all that? No. But, they ran their basic principle plays that you go, I see this play, once or twice every game. This is something Sean's going to call at some point to get a 5, an 8-yard completion, whatever that way. I thought Jameis Winston looked very good.
Did a nice job, didn't he?
Right?
He started out 5 for 5 or 6 out of 6,
Had one questionable decision.
Which one?
He ran a little play-action pass. They have that pop pass over the middle. He tried to throw it. There was coverage there. Could have been intercepted. That was the only decision I went, even remotely, that I went, ooh, that was shaky. Everything else, first off, I'd be lying if his mechanics didn't jump out to me right off the bat. Everything was really tight. And it was a really wide base. Like, I've never seen his base like that. That tells me Drew Brees, Sean Payton, all of them, they talk about it. They're wearing him out with that type of stuff. The other thing is quick, decisive decisions.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling him where to go with that ball in a hurry. He knew what he wanted. He looked at it, and he let it go, and he threw really accurate footballs for the most part. I will be shocked if Jameis Winston's not the starter for this football game.
Right?
How can you trust Taysom Hill to be the quarterback of your team all game long? The team is still built around the pass game in a lot of ways. I know they have a great offensive line and run it, but Sean Payton still wants to be able to run his Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara type plays. I don't know how you could trust Taysom Hill with the limited amount of snaps he's played at true quarterback to this point.
I agree. I think it'd be a mistake to not play him. The one thing that gives me pause, the first couple of third and medium, third and shorts in that game where there was no Drew, they brought Taysom Hill in.
Yeah, I know.
And if I'm Jameis Winston, I'm like, hey, come on, man.
I know.
Let me do this.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be the guy to run the offense, give me these third and manageables.
I think they were being outplayed in the game. He's probably a little scared. They had Jameis got no preseason in our offense. It was a weird offseason.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything. It's week 10. So I bet you Sean Payton was a little scared of like, wait, we're winning this game and we're being outplayed, and I don't want to give them one freebie here.
Yeah.
So I think he played it very conservative once he kind of got, okay, we're up 17-10 and all of those type of things. But I just, again, he's done a lot of really good things throughout his career. He's played the position a ton.
5 years as a starter.
I mean, and did some awesome stuff. I know he was Johnny Interception too, but I can also tell you, I can't tell you how many damn coaches were intrigued by Jameis Winston this offseason because they see the good and they just go, it's off the charts good. It's not just like average. It's when his good is great. And I think because of that experience and everything like that, I would think this is year we see Jameis. But unlike last year, where when Teddy came in, it was Teddy, and Taysom Hill had to be worried about being the backup, I think you'll see Jameis this year, and you're still going to see some Taysom Hill sprinkled in. I've been saying that for the last few days. I really think that'll be the case.
I went back and took a closer look at the Teddy Bridgewater wins they had last year.
Right.
He went 5-0, and that's getting a lot of hype right now.
Yeah.
2 of those wins, though, they scored 12 and 13
ugly as hell.
points.
Yeah.
Super ugly. So, the other games they scored in the 30s. So, for most of his time as a starter, he did really well. But they have that. They have this formula where they can win with a backup.
They can.
Without scoring a shitload of points.
Yeah.
And they have the #1 rush defense in the NFL. They've got the combo of Thomas and Kamara. And they also have Sean Payton calling the plays.
Exactly right. And they got talent on defense, and physicality there to where, that's what's cool about the Saints. That's when I talk about teams that are complete. They can play a lot of different ways. There's no matchup where they're ever like, oh, we're really in a tough spot today. We got to do, there's nothing. They're a well-built football team is what I'm trying to say there. And, listen, even in the games where they scored 33 against Seattle with Teddy Bridgewater last year. I mean, it was special teams, defensive turnover. It was that. The Bears game, they scored 36 points last year. It was ugly as hell, and they just slowly wore them down. They'll find the right way to play this week. And in a lot of ways, I'll say this too. Atlanta, who they play this week, Raheem Morris, I guarantee he has a great understanding of the Sean Payton offense because he was in Tampa with me and John Gruden. There's a lot of similarities. I would bet you in some ways, I'm not saying all the way, but I bet you in some ways they're going, man, I wish it was Drew Brees. Because I think he'd be able to pin it into a little bit of more of, I know what they're going to do with him.
Predictable.
A little more predictable. Not that it's easy to stop, but he knows the formula. Oh, okay, Kamara here, Michael Thomas here. Okay, it's Jared Cook down the middle.
They're probably going to run a very similar version.
They will. The only thing I would say now is where if Drew was in and where Atlanta beat them last year and maybe gave them a tough time in the second game, they knew how to take away the Kamara, Michael Thomas stuff.
Yeah.
And Drew can't throw the ball real deep down the field and do that to scare you, so you can gamble on that a little bit more. Jameis can throw the ball down the field. And I'm not saying he's better than Drew Brees. I'm just saying he adds an element that we haven't got to see it on film. We haven't studied it. And now Sean Payton might call a few different plays with this guy because he can push the ball down the field. That's all I'm saying.
And he did do that really well for most of the time, the Buccaneers.
I know.
No, he threw a lot of picks.
Yes.
But, he did make a habit of throwing it downfield a lot more than number 9 did.
Definitely. So I'm just saying that. I'm not trying to say he's better than anything or anything like that. I'm not trying to cause a controversy. But I just think for a guy who might have a feel I got a feel for this offense, damn, I wish it wasn't this guy because now I don't know what kind of offense to feel here. And that's where I'm just bringing that up.
And I think he's the best weapon in the NFL, and I said his name wrong. It's Kamara, not Kamara.
Oh.
$100 fine.
It's tough.
All right?
No, he is. He's a beast.
We should start something like that. Okay, speaking of Gruden.
Yeah.
Your old guy there, Michelle Tafoya, has a new show, Sports Uncovered.
Yeah.
And the next episode has to do with the John Gruden trade. And it gets really deep into everything that went into that. And I am reading here that you're part of it.
I am part of it. It is. Yeah, it was cool. It really was. First off, Michelle is smart as hell, has a great way in interviews, everything like that.
I would imagine she was as prepared as anybody else.
Well, she's always prepared. I mean, she's out of this world prepared. And, we had some good combos, stories in the mind of John Gruden. I don't know if John likes me or not anymore. He acts like he does when we see each other. But no quarterback spent more time with John Gruden than I. I still think I have the record for most years with John Gruden.
Really?
Yes.
How many?
I got 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many years into the marriage were you guys tired of each other?
Oh, 3? No, I don't know. No, probably
3 months.
No, really, my injury just put stress on the relationship. That's all there was to it. That's it. And that happens in football. But, man, Gruden deserves to be, first off, that'll be a great interview. I know Michelle's got some great angles. Of course, I think my part's cool, too. You might laugh at a few stories I tell. Gruden deserves to be, at this point right now, too, in the Coach of the Year conversation. I think so.
6-3.
6-3.
Yeah.
You know, has anybody else beat the Chiefs and the Saints this year?
Nobody else beat the Chiefs.
So, I mean, they've beaten two of the top teams in football, and they got some things. And again, this is year 3 of taking over a shit show with the Raiders, and it's going in the right direction.
They're scoring points.
They are.
They can get some things figured out defensively. I mean, that's a team that you have to deal with in January.
They'll be scary if you got to play them in January. With that running back and that O-line and, you know, Gruden and everything like that, they would be a pain in the butt.
Okay, so that is Sports Uncovered. Michelle Tafoya will focus on John Gruden. Drops on Thursday. You can listen wherever you get your podcast. Okay, that's all just been like appetizers.
It's appetizers.
Table setting for what's coming next.
Steak and mashed potatoes coming now.
For the halfway points, Chris Simms' new top 10. The revised top 10.
Right.
So let's roll out there last year's top 40. I say last year. This was earlier this year. This was summer.
Summer.
This kept me going this summer. It gave me a reason to get up and rolling in May and June as we would do a new 5 or 10 each week. So say it again, Pete? Peak pandemic.
Yeah, you're
Pete
right.
just wanted to get in a little bit of alliteration there. Okay, so we see the top 40 there. We're not doing the entire top 40, just redoing the top 10. I know.
Right.
Okay, so new top 10, and here's how we're going to do it, or here's how Chris is going to do it. 1 through 10, he'll reveal 1, we'll talk about it, 2, all the way up to number 10, correct? Am I understanding that properly?
Whatever way you want to go. Pete, you want to go 1 through 10 or 10 through, okay, we'll go that way.
Pete and I had a staff meeting without you during the week, and that's what we
I like that.
That's what we thought would be best. And I don't know who's going to be on this list.
I love it.
I wanted to be like all the other listeners and just be surprised.
Well, you know who number 1 is, so don't waste your time.
It was Patrick Mahomes.
And, I mean, of course it still is.
I mean, he's thrown an interception.
Oh,
they lost a game.
Put him down at 12 then. They lost a game.
I know.
Damn.
Not worth the money.
He is not. I mean, damn. They should ask for it back. Yeah, he's my number 1 quarterback. That's not even a thought. It's not a thought. You know, I listen, there's other guys out there that are amazing. I get it. But
1 loss in the last calendar year, 1 pick this year. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, you're awesome, and move on. I mean,
there's really nothing much to say. I mean, it's just he's going in the direction of one of the greatest we've ever seen, period. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
Right.
Can throw it any which way possible, clutch as hell, makes plays off schedule. You know, I mean, makes plays where if anybody else in football, I'd go, it's luck. That's luck. Can't believe he got away with that. It's luck.
Right.
Luck. You know, but like I said with Joe Burrow a few weeks ago, like I remember this with Mahomes, you know, in his rookie year, I just kept going, okay, it's week 6. I've said luck 74 times. It's not luck anymore.
It's not luck anymore.
It's not. And he's amazing.
And it's not just making it look easy. He's had a couple moments this year that I think, to me, are fun to watch. Early in the season against the Chargers, they didn't play well. He didn't play well, but down the stretch, in the end, he made a couple
the runs and throws he made at the end
awesome.
were amazing.
I always like seeing guys who've had a disappointing 3 quarters, but then it's close.
Yeah.
They find themselves in a game.
Hey.
And he was really good when it counted.
Everything about the Chiefs is predicated on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Everything. So I give guys, and you're going to see in this list, and we'll get into it, I give guys who know the situations, you know, a little bit of an edge. I do. You know, there's a difference between, let's say, Mahomes right now, I think it's 25-1 or 26-1.
25.
And I think like a guy like Big Ben, all right?
Yeah.
Who, let me just pull up the stats as I sit here.
I've got him.
He's like
67%, 22-4.
22-4. Totally different way of one getting to 25 or 26 touchdowns as compared to Big Ben getting to his 22. You know, one is, hey, the whole game's on you. Even our defense and how we play, it's on you, Mahomes. Go, do it. We need you to give us our greatest advantage and apply the pressure to the other team, and then that helps our defense play a style because our defense isn't like the most talented, but now we can play this style because you've set up those. So everything is about him and what they do. You know, Big Ben, he was like that for a long time in his career, but right now it's, hey, we got a great defense. I don't need to force the issue. I'll kind of just feel it out early. And then once I get a feel in the third quarter how they're playing us, I'll start to, like, you know, take some chances here and there. To me, there's a huge difference between those two things. Even though the stats, touchdown and interception, might look very same, there's one that has way more pressure on him to deliver from the get-go of the game as compared to the other, and I put value in that.
It's good to add context to it. Roethlisberger was 14 last year.
Right.
I have him listed as one of the guys Chris might sneak into the top 10, but I don't.
He's not going to get in there. I'm sorry. He's not going to get in there. We'll let that out. I thought about him. He was one of those next group of guys, but no, not going to put him in there. Yeah.
Okay, so Mahomes number 1, no change at the top.
Yeah.
You had Russell Wilson number 2 heading into the season. For the majority of the season, you could make an argument he was right there with Mahomes at number 1. Based off the last month, you still have him at number 2.
No, I don't. I'm not. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers right now for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, again, when we talk about, first off, I would say he's next up in the MVP conversation for me right now. After Patrick Mahomes, it would be Mahomes 1, Rodgers 2. Why wouldn't it be? Same type of story. Same for Russell, I get that too, but same for Rodgers when it comes to like what we just talked about. The game is all about him.
And he's 26-3.
Right. So, it's all about him. Now, it might not be the same way Mahomes and company do it, and it's fun to watch with Hill and Kelsey and everybody flying around that way, but it's still all about him. The defense is nothing special. The run game is nothing special. Everything that they have success-wise is usually predicated off of him putting you in that spot. Oh, they're up 14-0. They're the best first quarter team in football. Now you got to get off your game plan a little. And, now we have to throw. Good thing you got to throw because we can't stop the run here in Green Bay. But Rodgers gave us the 14-point lead. And we got good pass rushers, so good thing he did that for us. To me, that's again. So, yes. He got the edge over Russell Wilson at number 3. All right.
So Wilson's 3.
Wilson's 3.
Yep.
Just because, listen, 3 out of the last 4 weeks, the Seahawks have lost, and one of the biggest reasons is Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I can't hide that.
Right.
The 2 games Green Bay lost, Rodgers wasn't the issue.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa, you could certainly say he was. Let's say it. Threw the pick 6 early. Threw another interception to Devontae Adams. Okay, well, I'll be fair. I'll say that he should have. The
other loss was all Dalvin Cook.
All Dalvin Cook. Yeah. He couldn't get the ball. They made mistakes on offense. It wasn't a Rodgers issue.
Right.
Even though we talked about it, it's a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson. Okay, but I can definitively say he was a big reason they lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
He was a big reason they lost to the Bills.
I'll say the same thing I said a little while ago. Outside of Carson Wentz, Wilson has the most turnovers in the league.
Right.
And I knew no matter where he came up in this top 5, it's going to be a lightning rod for conversation because, he certainly belongs at 3. However, with those 3 losses, it's multiple picks in all the losses. They've lost 3 of their last 4. So to have somebody who's that high in turnovers, their team has lost 3 out of 4. They're going in the wrong direction. And we're going off of how they're playing now. This isn't who you'd pick for the next 5 years.
No, it's all about right now. You're right.
How much consideration did you give to having him even lower than 3?
There's some guys here that they're close, but I don't think I'm willing to go above them yet.
Okay.
Because again, I will say, same thing with like Mahomes and Rodgers that we just talked about. Russell, it is all about him, maybe even more.
Right.
Come on, we're historically bad defense out of Seattle. Historically, can't run the football really. And especially not with Chris Carson. So, again, you got to take into account that, yes, some of these turnovers happen, but, they're on plays where I go, man, he did that a few weeks ago, but it was a touchdown or a 20-yard gain, and nobody's complained about it.
It's a fine line.
So every now and then, it's going to be bad when you're always going, please make magic. Please make magic.
Right.
And, yes, he hasn't come through in some tough matchups and things like that, but he's still awesome, and he's still – no doubt, one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the game for me.
Mahomes 1. We have Rodgers 2. Wilson number 3. 4 before the season was Deshaun Watson. This is another one that's a lightning rod no matter what.
Yeah.
So who do you have it for now?
Yeah. I got a newcomer in the top 10 here. Somebody that was just out of my top 10 that I chickened out a little bit.
So he was just out of the top 10?
Just out of the top 10.
I'm going to say it's either Tannehill or Murray.
Murray.
You got Kyler Murray at
number 4? I'm going Kyler Murray, number 4. I am. He's amazing. We've never seen anybody be able to quite run his style at quarterback. I know Lamar Jackson can run. I get it. It's not the Kyler Murray style. It's not this quickness and the acceleration quite that way. And then, of course, he's a pretty damn polished passer, too. So I just look at that, and again, we can go into that conversation. Arizona is Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
It's all about him and the pressure he applies to you.
Yep.
And I will say, too, offensively, I think he's maybe in the least creative pass offense of the other three quarterbacks we talked about ahead of him.
I would not have expected that when Cliff Kingsbury came in, right?
That's not what people expect. But, Cliff is still growing, and it's getting better. Like, it really is. He's still growing, I think, in the NFL world. Listen, in college, he didn't have to change. He kept going, I throw for 600 yards every game. It's always open. What do I have to change? Now he's going, okay, I got to change this and that, and he's tinkering with it. But because of that, still, yeah, they get away with certain stuff and certain things because you have to play defenses you don't want to play because it's Kyler Murray. And you're going to go, I got to put somebody in there in case he runs. Oh, wait, I got to put another guy in there in case they run a quarterback design run. And now you're compromised out here. And, of course, all the things he can do off schedule. So it's hard for me not to have him at number 4.
He's averaging 67 rushing yards a game. And it's one of those things where that's a number you can throw out there, but you don't know how much less a team that has based its defense off of blitz, how much less are they doing that because they're playing against Kyler Murray? You just can't seem to tackle him in the backfield.
No.
And he's almost at 70%, and he's 17 touchdowns to 8 picks. Numbers are fine, but he's one of those players where the numbers just don't even come close to doing it justice.
You're exactly right. That's the exact way to put it. The stats don't tell the real story about him because you're exactly right. That's the big thing. If they didn't have a quarterback like him with some of the Cliff Kingsbury offense, people would be like, oh, I can shut this down. I can stop this play or this concept they like to run a lot, no doubt. But because of him, you have to play certain defenses to where you go, man, I got to play this defense, and now this really basic pass concept is going to be hard to cover. I mean, it's basic. Our defense has seen it 100 times, but I can't play the coverage I want because I got to worry about this damn Mighty Mouse back there running around all over us, or
the difference.
Making some crazy play. So, yeah. Between that, clutchness, willpower, the aura and presence he's brought to the Cardinals, all of that, I there's no doubt he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football right now.
Your boldest pick so far, probably going to be your boldest pick at the top 10. Kudos to you for putting that out there. Kyler Murray at number 4. You used to have, and maybe you still do, Lamar Jackson at 5. Last year's MVP. Offense was the best in the league. Numbers are down a little now. So who do you got at 5?
He's coming up soon. He ain't at 5 right now, though.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to go with my boy Blue at number 5. Josh Allen's going to be the number 5 quarterback.
At 5?
He is. And again, you're seeing a theme here with my top 5. And I don't even really mean to do this.
And he was, hold on one second, buddy. You had him at 18.
18 or 19, yeah, I thought so. Okay, yeah. And he was one of those guys, and Pete, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I clarified at 19. I said, he's got superstar ability. Yeah. He could be in the top 5 when the next year is over. He has that type.
He did, yep.
And he's just like the other guys. It's the same type of story. Once again, it's all about him. No defense, no run game. And, hey, we're going to apply pressure and win the game because our quarterback is special, and we're going to let it go that way. And he has made tremendous improvements. Accuracy.
Yes.
Running the offense. Whatever you want to talk about, different types of throws that we thought, he can improve on the accuracy or touch throws and things like that. All of them improved. Stop with the, I didn't think accuracy can be improved. Josh Allen, if you didn't realize it, he should be your poster child now. Obviously, it can be.
And the numbers are phenomenal here, Chris. He went from 52% first year to 59%. He's at 68% now. And that in and of itself is tremendous. But his yards per attempt have gone up by over a yard. That's a massive, significant jump. So to jump up that much in your efficiency while you're pushing the ball downfield more, you don't often see those two things go up together at the same time.
No, you're right. They usually don't. But, one, a few more weapons.
Yes,
2,
Diggs,
another year in an offense with Brian Daboll so they can expand that. Daboll's smart. I think he probably realized some of the mechanical flaws he had. Wait, let's fix this and that. And he's done that. And then he makes him the better short game thrower.
Right.
And now that it makes those down the field throws more effective.
Yeah.
And it's all about him, and let alone his ability, again, to make plays off schedule is as good as anybody we've had on the list there.
Right.
It might not be the same way as Murray or Mahomes do it. It's more Mahomes-ish, though, with how he floats around and makes plays that way to where,
I mean, I know this sounds like arrogant, but I just feel like in my heart of hearts, like, I don't even think the top 5 is debatable.
Really?
I really don't, and I know I'm going to take flack for that statement.
I think your top 3 is not debatable.
Okay.
That somewhere it's Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson. I think you'd find a lot of debate about 4 and 5. Having Murray at 4
4
and
for
5.
sure? You think 4? Because, I mean, he's the number 2 MVP candidate right now, or you think so? Or number 3 MVP.
I think some people would chime in.
I can see the Josh Allen thing. I understand that. There's going to be people because they just still are watching, like, highlights from him in Wyoming, and they're like, oh, he's not accurate.
I don't think either one of them are out in left field at all. I think you've got really good conviction.
Yeah.
There's wins, there's numbers, there's the eye test with all of it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're off. I do think people are going to listen and say, I don't agree with number 4 and number 5.
That's fine. That's cool. I bet you I'm going to get more flack for number 5 than I will for number 4.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's Kyler Murray right now. Everyone's warm and cozy with Kyler. Oh, he won a Heisman. I saw him in the Final 4 games in college.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's been telling me he's good forever, so he's good. I know that. He's good. Look, in Arizona's good, so he's good. Josh Allen, it'll probably take 3 more years of everybody to finally be like,
Why is that? I mean, because, again, the wins are there. He has fantastic throws every single week. He doesn't have manufactured numbers. I mean, he's one of these guys who he'd rather push it 20 yards downfield than take the check down.
Yeah, he's like the opposite. You're
right.
Just like, every now and then.
Why do you think people would debate 5
It
more?
just goes into perception and people not wanting to get off their original thought. That's the biggest thing to me. I've heard announcers, they go into it when they do a Bills game. Mm-hmm. As soon as he makes a bad throw, they go, see, this has been the issue with Josh. And I want to go, really? You're going to bring something up from, 3 years ago? He just threw 70 strikes in the game. He threw one off, and you go, see, here's the problem. And I hear it every week. They've been working on accuracy. The accuracy conversation's over. It's at 70%. It's one of the most aggressive passing games in football. Get over it. It's done. And what bothers me is people go back to that and like, oh, that's what I saw in college. But then, they don't do that when they watch Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, when they gave them these astounding grades, and they don't go, in college he did this way better, but now in the NFL he stinks at it. Where's that conversation?
People were attached to his, I don't remember the exact completion percentage coming out of Wyoming, but that was, he's got great talent, but he's not very accurate.
Again, we've talked about it all the time. Context matters.
Yeah.
The team around him was as shitty as I've seen with a top 10 quarterback in football the last, I don't know how many drafts. In some of the games, we've talked about this too. The weather is phenomenal. I don't care. You can bring Elway, Drew Brees up there. They were going to throw around 50%.
Yeah.
He's throwing in like snow blizzards and had no talent around him too. So that's this is where people mess up on evaluating quarterbacks, in my opinion, a lot of the time.
Love it. Josh Allen from 18 up to 5. And I know this is changing. At 6, you had Carson Wentz.
Yeah, he's not in the top 10.
Yeah, so who's your new 6?
My new I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson at 6.
Who was at 4?
And Deshaun Watson is still playing great football.
They've won 2 games.
I know. And it's a team sport. But they're not losing because of Deshaun Watson. In fact, they would be 0-for if it isn't Deshaun Watson. And in a lot of these games, they wouldn't be competitive if it isn't for Deshaun Watson. I mean, there's been a few games this year where I go and you watch on TV, the Texans aren't like my, top tier priority right now. And you see them lose a game and you go, oh, man, all right, yeah. Didn't look like Deshaun did anything special that day or anything like that. But then I would turn on the film and be like, holy crap, Deshaun was amazing. And they would have been blown out if they didn't have Deshaun. And all of those type of things. I'll take it back to the Tennessee Titans game. They lost in overtime a few weeks ago. I mean, they did nothing to help him. It was all Deshaun Watson just making unbelievable play after unbelievable play. They lost and all of that, and people are going to blame Deshaun Watson, but it's really not his fault. He's still, to me, just a special quarterback. And so I'm going to move to the next one here because this was a tough conversation for me on this part of it. Because I got Deshaun 6, and I made Lamar 7. Lamar Jackson at 7.
What was the hardest part about that?
Well, Lamar is the NFL MVP.
Yep.
He was a top 5 quarterback for me.
Had him at 5.
Had him at 5. He's still doing a lot of good things. He's taking way too much criticism right now, in my opinion. Way too much. But I just got down into it and went, okay, yeah, he's not playing his best football. Watson, okay, yeah, you could say he's not playing his best, but is playing really damn good. And
I got into if I was an offensive coordinator or a head coach, who would I want a quarterback? And I want Deshaun Watson.
Take Deshaun.
I would, because not that he has the threat of running that Lamar does, but there's still a threat there to where you'd be able to do some of it. But then I think his pocket Deshaun Watson's a pocket passer,
right?
Who just happens to have the ability to run. That's really the best way we should explain. He wants to dice you up with his right arm, and then when he just can't find anybody open, he's got the luxury of having some good legs and playmaking ability. But he is really a pocket passer at heart. And I think that's where I like him. I think he would translate to more offenses, and I think he translates to more pressure on defenses on a week-in, week-out basis because of that.
I think your sequence here at 6-7 with Deshaun at 6,
yeah,
Lamar at 7, really puts something to the test that, since you and I have been talking quarterbacks a lot the last couple of years, I know that you don't value wins, interceptions, completion percentage as much as other people do when it comes to the ranking.
Right.
But this really puts it to the test when you have somebody whose team has only won 2 wins, or only won 2 times, ahead of a team that's going to be in the playoffs.
I know. But, again, the one thing we could say to that, right, is that other guy that the team's going to be in the playoffs has a roster that we've talked about many times ago, and maybe is this one of the best rosters in football. It's a big overpowering offensive line. It's one of the best defenses in football. And this is where, we get into our conversation where hopefully we straighten people out this way to go, it's a team sport.
Right.
If you switched Lamar and put him on Houston, they'd be 2-7.
Right.
Or 1-8, maybe. Really. And I'd go, if you put Deshaun in Baltimore, they'd be every bit as good, maybe better. That's just the way I look at it.
Right.
So, again, it's a team sport that way, and I'm not going to just be totally always overwhelmed by, wins, losses, touchdown, interception.
I think it's refreshing. I think it's great because I think people that I've respected a lot through the years, and I do it too, it's easy to come back to, the team wins. He's completing 70% of his passes. Those are easy things to hang on to, and I like that you are able to go to some of the other things and really sell them with your conviction. So I think that's good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There's more to it when it's evaluating a quarterback. And with Watson too, Watson's throwing right around 70%. He's second in his team leading in rushing. He's talented too, and his defense sucks. So he's got nothing to help him. And, Lamar, where I want to say, it's not the same year, but again, let's take into account, his running is a big part of him at quarterback. So we got to take that into account. The numbers aren't always going to be great throwing the ball. The offense doesn't lend itself to that. The passing game is predictable. We're putting a little too much on Lamar right now, in my opinion. In the media, I hear too much of what's wrong with Lamar. What's wrong with Lamar? I want to go. What's wrong with the pass offense?
Right.
Can we have more concepts?
Right.
Can we find other ways to get guys the ball? And that to me is more of an issue than Lamar.
Which part of the blame goes to just him individually, though? Like, you don't have to say he's regressing, but if he's stuck in his, as he evolves into a permanent top 5 quarterback, what has him kind of in the same spot or maybe even taking a step back?
Yeah, I don't really look at it because he had a few games where I went, man, he didn't throw the ball great. I haven't seen him do that since his rookie year or early as a starter last year when he was just his second year in the league, but his first year as a full starter. There were some games there I went, oh, man, that throwing wasn't great that day. It was okay, got enough, but it wasn't great. This year I saw it a few times early in the year, like the Chiefs game. I thought there were some moments of going, and then the Washington game. But after that, it kind of stopped, and it's been on point. So I don't know if there's any area I can look at to say he's regressed. I think he's actually gotten better in the pocket. The big thing is their offensive lines had injuries.
Yep.
The best left tackle in football is not there.
Yep.
Marshall Yonder retired.
Yep.
Their rookie, who I'm blanking on his name, who was a starter early in the year, got hurt. They've had to shuffle things around. People have all studied Baltimore in the offseason. I've already mentioned to you about other teams who run the Lamar Jackson quarterback runs. So those teams are getting to defend it in practice. It's the league, it catches on fire. That's how it happens.
Right.
So some of those staples last year that we went, whoa, they're just gashing people. This year they're getting 4 yards. And that has a ripple effect to now where the other things you do off of it don't gash you the same way and all of that. So I don't look at it any way on him. I don't.
But yet, you dropped him a couple too.
I did. I dropped him a couple because I feel like, I guess what I would say is more of, I guess I want more of him to make it happen in the pass game. I want a little bit more of what I've talked about with the guys previous to him. Mm-hmm. Hey, there's nothing open, okay. Move around, make a play, make a sidearm throw, do that. That's probably where I want more of him. I'm glad we talked about this because it helped to flesh it out in my own brain.
It's like
but
therapy,
I think that's where it is. But that's where I want to stick up for him and just go, like the Patriots this past week, they were all over their pass concepts. They got to put one more egg in the stop the run basket because they went, we feel pretty comfortable about how we're going to defend their pass game.
Yeah.
And there was just too many plays where I go to the old adages. They just had guys right where they were trying to throw it.
Yeah.
And in zone coverages. And that's when I start to go, people are all over your stuff a little.
I think it's good to point out, good perspective, that someone isn't either awesome or they suck. I mean, there is, okay, maybe a little bit lesser than he was a year ago, but still a lot to love about it. And I think that's very fair to point that out. It's not all awesome or, boy, he's terrible. I was wrong that he wasn't that good.
No.
There's something in the middle that makes a lot of sense.
There's something in the middle, and here's another one because I saw this in Pittsburgh in the Kansas City game too. Just like, just having a little bit better of a feel like the Pittsburgh game. Hey, it's Pittsburgh, the run game. Hey, you got to throw here. They got a great pass rush. You can't dance around in the pocket all day long. You got to make the move and get out or throw the ball or do whatever. Little nuances like that, I guess I would say he could get better at too. But, all in all, it's still a lot of damn good. Yeah, He's just not quite as on fire as he was last year.
So at number 8, you had Dak Prescott. We talked last week that nobody who is injured and out for the season is going to be on the list.
No.
So Dak not being at 8 has nothing to do with how he was playing. He's not around for the rest of the season, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So your new number 8s?
Going to Rookieville. Going to Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert showing up at number 8, ahead of Burrow and obviously ahead of Tua.
No, I know.
Okay. Justin Herbert from number, hold on a second, I got it on the last page, from number 37.
37.
Out of 40 preseason. All the way up to 8.
I'm not going to be chicken with these rookies anymore. I'm just telling you from now on.
Yeah.
I won't be.
Because I know at times in the past, like you maybe held off a little bit, and now you're just like, screw it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've been burned by it. Like people shit on me the year Patrick Mahomes didn't play. I had him in the top 32 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And the next year I wanted to be like, so wait, can somebody say sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry, I yelled at you for having him at 29.
And now people are going to yell because they've won twice.
Yeah. Again, whoop-de-freaking-do. Have you watched the Chargers? That's where you got to go. Go back from his first game on. There's just very few bad reads or missed throws. And there is a ton of, oh my gosh, wow, unreal throw, good decision, great accuracy, great touch, way to hang in there in the pocket with people all over you. Whoa, they're all out blitzing. He's got pressure. He throws it off his back foot 65 yards. I mean, it's off the charts good. It's off the charts good. And it's an offense that doesn't lend itself to great quarterback numbers. Right. It's not like it's a wide open, high-flying Patrick Mahomes affair, or even what Joe Burrow gets to do and be in the shotgun with all the spread stuff all the time. It's none of that, So to me, it's been special from every aspect, let alone he's a guy, again, you throw into that list that there's a lot of plays when nothing's there. Yeah. You still go, they got 20 yards because he made a throw that only like 4 people on the planet can make.
We talked about it earlier in the podcast when we were breaking down the matchup against the Dolphins and Tua Herbert. That was fun to do. For everybody who's just catching this part and listening to the top 10, what are some ways that Chargers offense can highlight what he's good at even better? Yeah,
well, I just think that the ball in the game should be in his hands more. I think that has to be, this year's over, it's done.
Yeah.
But that has to be the focus, and I would make it the focus even from here on out. Let's just make it all about our quarterback here at the end of the year. Let's grow him. Let's grow our offense. He is not overwhelmed by anything in any situation. We've seen clutch drives, even when they lost the Raiders game. Man, his fault. He threw 2 strikes to the receivers to win the game. They dropped him. Sorry.
So, yeah, he lost that game. Oh, he only got 2 wins. Well, I mean, he can't catch it and throw it at the same time. So, but that to me would be the next thing I'd want to see.
Yeah.
Is more of that.
Let him push it downfield more often.
Yeah, and not even just open the field more. Even the short, quick passing game. I mean, he's good at it all. He's good at it all. There's just too many games right now where they don't do him any favors, and it's like, oh, we're going to manage you.
Still treat him with kid gloves a little bit.
Yeah, but it's also like, but why? There's nothing that shows he's a kid, and you keep playing this game with the kids' gloves, and then you got to rip these kids' gloves off and go, whoa, we're in a man's game right here, and now you ask him to be a man all of a sudden. And that's where I think it frustrates me a little.
And in a way, they're in a perfect situation to do that because it's not like they're a game above 500 or a game below where they're really fighting for the playoffs.
Exactly.
Season's
it's done.
Kind of over.
It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
Night-night.
Turn it up. Turn him loose.
Right.
And see what he's got at the next level.
Exactly. See if you can grow him and, being at the line of scrimmage, calling his own plays, or you give him 2 plays and do that. But I think that should be. And either way, whether the wins and losses, again, I'd love to see him win. But you see them. They're a team, again, not very many easy completions.
Right.
The throws it seems like they're all down the field for the most part. And he's throwing for 66.8%.
Yeah.
It's 19 touchdowns. It's 6 interceptions. I mean, it's with no great defense and no great running game to go with it. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty damn impressive.
I'm going to reach into my imaginary bag
Yeah.
of social questions that I'm picturing out there and just pull one out. And you can attach whatever name you want to it. But someone wants to ask, if you were going to have one rookie at number 8 on your list from the Miami-LA game, why did you pick Herbert over Tua? Tua played better?
Well, yeah, sure. I guess you could say that. Yeah, I know Justin Herbert threw the interception late and all of that, but I'm not going to sit here and just go, Tua had a better day on that day. His team is significantly better though. And we've yet to see Tua in any sort of like fashion of what Justin Herbert's had to do yet. Like, haven't seen him how to play a game like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Games have fallen perfectly
or the New Orleans Saints. Right, they've fallen perfectly. Or Tua, where I could go through a few games with Herbert and go, oh, no, he had to win the game. He had to make it a game. The Bucs, the Saints game, the Broncos bringing them back. The Raiders game where, he brings them back. Or not the Broncos, he had the lead already. The Raiders game where he brings them back.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he can't close the game out. He can't rush the passer and do all of those things too. But I've seen a lot of moments of where the game is on him.
Yep.
And he delivers.
And that's not Tua's fault. I mean, it's awesome for him that his defense and special teams have been that good. But he hasn't been in as difficult situations as Herbert has.
Yeah, and listen, I know there's a lot of Tua fans out there, and maybe we get to the end of the season and I got a better feel for him. I'll tell you where I think he might be as related.
Only played 3 games.
I know.
And if you listen earlier in the podcast, we talked about him, and he did a nice job.
He did.
He did a nice job on Sunday. Okay, so that's 8, Justin Herbert. Last year, number 9, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that he's not on this list.
Sorry.
Either.
Goodbye.
Who do you got at 9?
Going to Rookieville again. Going to Joe Burrow.
There you go.
Yep. It's Joe Ohio, okay? But Burrow, I mean, I've been so impressed with just about everything in his game, other than moments of going, oh, I wish his arm was a hair more powerful. I think we've discussed that. But even that, I've seen him, fix little issues with that as the years gone along. From the get-go, they've put it on him. Hey, we drafted you number 1. We're not very good. We're going to put you in the shotgun. You got to throw it 40 times, and you got to pick them apart for us to win the game because our defense isn't good. We don't have a great running game. In fact, we can't even really protect you. So we might need you to just run and make some crap happen too either. And it's flying colors. Again, I don't care what the record looks like. He does things on the field that, I'm telling you that I don't think there's quarterbacks outside this top 10 that can do it. Whether his ability to throw accurate balls, process information. He gets into the conversation a lot where people listen to the podcast, they'll hear me say this, where I've gone, that's lucky. Yeah. But I go, that's the 7th time this game I've said it's lucky. It's not lucky. It's not. He's got an innate feel and an ability to see the field that very few people have. And then he has an arm that, great touch, great anticipation,
enough power to scare you down the middle and deep down the sidelines, and then off of that, unbelievable ability to extend plays and avoid pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. It really is.
And it's not the extending plays where he's going to run 15 yards outside the pocket and 15 yards downfield.
No,
it's the 2 or 3 yard little shuffle and reset.
He moves around like this, and then he goes like that, and then he does this, and he dips around and he throws it, and you're like, man, that was amazing. He broke 4 tackles in a 6-yard span there and got a 20-yard completion.
Yeah.
And and I know
sometimes the numbers, the numbers kind of mislead, and there are more important things. However, as a rookie quarterback, no games with multiple picks.
It's amazing.
We're in mid-November. He hasn't had a single game where
as much as they're asking him to throw the football.
Right?
Right.
Awfully good.
Yes.
No games under 50%. Maybe not as impressive as no games without a pick, but he just hasn't had these rookie kind of games where you watch and you're like, oh, he's got potential, but man, he's a long way away.
Yeah.
He hasn't had those moments.
Not at all. I don't really, he is not a long ways away. He is ready for prime time right now. If they do this right and build the team the right way in the offseason and things like that, they could be one of those teams next year where we go, man, they're a player in the AFC this year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's not going to fall off. He's only going to get better. And, like you said, he's just so well-schooled, and everything about him is really phenomenal, let alone clutchness and everything like that. So, I look at Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert as being superstars already as rookie on that trajectory.
Have you seen any evidence of what we talked about last spring where you loved what you saw, but questioned maybe, I don't know if his arm is quite good enough to be elite? Have you seen any signs of that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few throws. It's more early in the year. And I talked about this, I think, because you were still, doing some of your other work where we weren't on the pod together consistently. But there was a few throws early in the season where I went, oh, man, he missed some go routes and underthrew some where you go, man, he should hit that. But he's really corrected it. And I've talked about this, he corrected it mechanically a little bit. If you watch him the first 2 games of the year, his motion was going to that opposite pocket.
Yeah.
Now he's making an effort to try to come across his body.
Yeah.
And I do think it's created a little bit more power for him. I do.
I think it's interesting that you pointed that out with Josh Allen. Always had a strong arm, but maybe tweaked his delivery a little bit.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. People so often think that a quarterback can't do that.
It's so wrong to think that, I heard Terry Bradshaw say it a few weeks ago with Josh Allen, and I wanted to go, what?
He said that you cannot.
And I wanted to go, wait, Terry, you came into the NFL as so inaccurate, and you got better. How could you say that?
Right.
I don't understand. You can change and get better. I've seen too many quarterbacks do it. See, where everybody is getting into that conversation, I've said this before, is we use people who can't throw at all as our example. Oh, Tim Tebow, see, you're not a natural thrower, you can't throw it. Yeah, Tim Tebow could never throw anything. At no point. He's a great runner, a great athlete, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So it was never natural to him. To people who it's natural to, even though they might have some issues with this little area of throwing or whatever, when it's natural to a person, you can start to tell, hey, try this, do that. It might help you.
Right.
And because it's natural, they can go, oh, wait, you're right. That does feel good. And all of a sudden, you fix problems.
There you go. Okay, so 10.
Yeah, 10.
10. I'm going to read, obviously only one spot left.
Yeah.
We've got Tannehill, would be a good candidate. Roethlisberger, you already said he wouldn't be on there. Brady and Breeze are both out there.
Tannehill's who I'm going with, though.
Tannehill's your guy at 10.
I'm going with Tannehill.
I thought he'd be even higher.
I thought about it. I'll tell you this. This is why Tannehill's not higher. Because, not going to lie, when I told you some of those ones I was deciding on, right? Hey, Lamar and Deshaun, where should I go there? I was worried about that. One of my original lists I wrote out, I had Tannehill in front of Herbert and Burrow.
Yep.
I did. What I basically got down to is I just went, they ask more of those guys than Tannehill. Tannehill is awesome and he delivers, but he gets to play a game where it just gets put out there for him. Now, they need to change it.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw last week. We were texting on the Thursday night game.
You said offense needs more diversity.
The offense needs more diversity. If it's open, he'll hit it.
Yeah.
He is a good runner, but he doesn't use his running to scramble enough and make plays happen, in my opinion. I'd like to see him more. He's too good of an athlete sometimes. If you just sit there, wait, nobody's open. No, get out, move, go, do something. Be like Josh Allen or Joe Burrow and move around and do that. He totally has the ability to do it. But, yeah, I think that's where, in a game like last week where you go, ooh, things are sputtering, impose your will on the game, Ryan Tannehill. And I think some of the guys I have in front of him impose their will a little bit more than he does at times. Mm-hmm. And, it's why we're on that, too. Yeah, Tennessee, we know we want to run the ball with Derrick Henry. We know that. They got to do some stuff to keep people off it a little bit. The game can't just be run it. Okay, it's just going okay, the run game, but we got our play-action passes. Okay, they've been pretty good, but we still can't run it, and now we've run a few play-action passes, and now the play-action passes aren't open either. Okay, so what's the next move? And you got A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. Like, why don't they have more of the fake speed sweeps, wide receiver screens? They don't need much. They just need a little to keep people off the Henry run game.
Would make Derrick even better, too.
I think so. When we were texting Thursday night, I just thought that's what came to me as I was sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
It can't just always be 2 tight ends to the right. We're going to run zone cutback. Oh, 2 times to the left. We're going to run zone cutback. Okay, now we're going to be a play action, and we're going to try to hit a post down the middle or something like that. There's got to be more to it to make the defenses think about more areas of the field.
In a way, he's the most efficient, best game manager right now,
right, yeah,
but he could be even more.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly right. He can be more. They need to help him out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I also think he could press the issue a little bit more too. There's been a few games this year where I go, hey, come on, big guy, take over. You got the ability here to kind of make more happen than what's happening.
Yeah.
So there's my top 10. Brady was up there.
Breeze.
Brady was up there. Mm-hmm. Breeze is not up there. Sorry, not in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not to like the fringe top 10.
Yeah.
But Brady, hey, the mind, the decision making, and throwing the ball down the field as well as ever. But the thing I'll say too, hey, he's on an all-star team. All right. The team's awesome. It's awesome. He's lost games for them this year. You could really sit there and go, all 3 games they lost. If you had to pick one culprit, again, you could pick Tom Brady. The Saints game was bad both times. And then the Bears game was I thought it was 3rd down game.
Yeah.
And not that was his fault, but it wasn't a great game by him. And I think here's just the button up at the Brady thing, because I know that'll be a talking thing, is all the things he can deliver you from, experience and reading a defense and all that. I don't think it's great enough to me to wait, when there's nothing there or, nothing to be had, all these other guys can still make stuff happen.
Yep.
And that's just where, as talking to me, that's important to me. Derek Carr, also another name I had very close.
I was going to say, I had Carr and Goff as guys both who were, I think, have played better this season than their rankings
Definitely.
showed. When you wrote down Tannehill at 10.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Brady. Brady fits in well with the talking points. But
right.
What's the name that you maybe hesitated and thought, well, maybe this guy?
I think it was Carr. I really thought about Derek Carr.
And that would have bumped him all the way up.
Because he was around 18 or 19 or 17, somewhere in there, I want to say.
Pete, I don't have him written down.
Yeah, he's somewhere in the Josh Allen, Jimmy Garoppolo area, and I believe I had him at 17 or 18.
I'm sorry, 19.
19. Okay, good. Yeah. So, he's having a great year.
He is.
And then also being more aggressive at times and doing things the right way. But to me, still, the reason he doesn't make the list as compared to the others is those guys make a lot happen when nothing's there. I'm big into that.
Yep.
Tannehill, I want more of that. But Tannehill, I also gave credit to go, man, if there's just a smidgen there to get a ball in the window, he gets it in every time. Like, perfect throw. Mm-hmm. And I have something there. There's something there to that, too. So we'll see. Everybody, ask me questions, whatever you want to talk about with my top 10.
So, Pete, I don't know if we have the actual list to show or not, but I'll just run through it real quick. Mahomes at number 1, number 2, Aaron Rodgers, 3, Russell Wilson, 4, Kyler Murray, 5, Josh Allen. At 6, Deshaun Watson, 7, Lamar Jackson, 8, Justin Herbert, 9, Joe Burrow, a couple of rookies back-to-back, and then at 10, Ryan Tannehill. Well done, man.
Thank you.
Do that again sometime soon.
Yeah, please.
With some other groups.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Give me a break.
Casey
This guy's
says
trying to
no.
give me all this work today.
We have one more.
Yeah, I know we do. I'm
one
ready.
place to go here. Quarterback Jeopardy, Hail Mary edition, in honor of Kyler Murray being the fourth-rated quarterback and the play he made at the end of the game there.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
I like it.
I think this is going to be a tough category for you. I think you're going to look back on the season, and this might be one of the QB Jeopardies.
This might be my Brady against the Saints game, is what you're telling me right here.
If you or Brady against the Bears, something like that.
Right.
If you hit three of those, you hit three of these, I think it's good.
Okay.
Okay. 100. The original Hail Mary. I don't think you were born yet. The play that gave it its name, Dallas at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Playoffs 1975.
Right.
Roger Staubach to who?
Drew Pearson.
Okay, that was a layup.
Right.
I don't think there's any more layups. 200. 5 seasons later, the Vikings were on the other side of the famous Hail Mary. Final game of the 1980 regular season at Cleveland. 1 second left. Tommy Kramer launches a prayer that was tipped, caught with one hand by what future NBC on-air talent?
Ahmad Rashad.
You're 2 for 2.
Damn.
I didn't think you'd get that one.
You didn't think I would, huh? I wanted to tell you before you started. You know who you're f***ing with here?
I love that he's already a little agitated because he was feeling the people questioning his top 10.
Right, and now you challenge me on my knowledge.
We're catching him in a very fun mood here. Okay, 300.
Yes.
Late in the 2015 season, with your dad on the call, Ford Field, Packers-Lions.
Right.
Last play of the game, Aaron Rodgers' Skies won 60-plus yards. Who came down with it for the Green Bay win?
Oh, man, it's one of the tight ends.
Yeah.
Is it Richard Rodgers?
3 for 3.
Boom.
I did not
You. How about that?
Richard Rodgers, period, you.
Yes.
That's not part of the answer.
It is today.
I think we dock you half a point. Okay, 400.
Yeah.
1 month later in the playoffs, Rodgers did it again in Arizona.
Oh.
Same area of the field where Kyler just threw the Hail Mary to DeAndre Hopkins. He connected with what Packer receiver to send the game to overtime where Green Bay eventually won.
The white receiver.
That doesn't count. It's correct, but it doesn't count.
Oh, my God.
Did he really?
I cannot think of his.
Late draft pick.
I know.
From a small school in Wisconsin, I think.
Schroeder?
It's a fine guess. Schroeder from the Peanuts gang?
No, man, what is it? I won't be able to. I won't be able to come up with it.
Jeff Janis.
Janis. Damn it.
Jeff Janis. Matt, did you know? Matt Casey know?
None of us did.
No.
Huh.
If Tirico didn't know.
Yeah. Don't use that to make yourself feel better.
Damn it.
Right.
I knew that. I would have got to that if I wasn't choking on a live podcast. Damn it.
500.
84 Jeff Janis.
September of 2012. I think Tirico was on the call here. Seahawks beat the Packers on the final play of the game that's known as the Fail Mary.
Oh, that was horrible.
Russell Wilson threw the pass to Golden Tate. What Packers DB came down with 2 hands on the ball?
It's 2012.
Yeah. This is the one I didn't think it was fair to have in here.
No, it's okay. Hold on. This is fair.
So if you remember the play,
Yeah.
they go down and it looked like the DB had the ball.
Right.
And there were replacement referees, remember?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. That was the end of the play. That was the end of it. They changed it the next day.
Yeah, there you go.
They were literally like, whoa, you botched that.
And after a lot of deliberation, they said that Golden Tate had the ball, which is still pretty questionable.
2012.
2012. This dude is not in the league anymore, Pete, right?
He's not, right? It's a safety.
I don't know if it was a safety or a corner. I don't remember.
I know I'm just trying to think.
Number 43, safety, says Pete.
Wow, he was number 43?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that, Pete? You sure it's not 42?
Pete's watching the play
Oh, he's
again.
watching the play again.
Yeah. I would not have gotten this one in 100 years.
I'm not
I
going
can picture the play and had no idea who it was.
I can't get it either. Go ahead, tell me.
MD Jennings.
Oh, yep. Would have never got it. All right. That's good. I remember him, but yes.
I don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not in the league anymore, MD Jennings. Definitely not.
Strong start.
Thank you.
First 3.
Man, I really
hit
knew
that
number
point.
4, too.
Jeff Janis.
That would have took a while for me to come up with that name because it's been out of sight, out of mind for so long.
I had you on the Janis thing and not getting Ahmad Rashad. No.
I'm historian.
So if we had, I initially had the question written as who caught the ball on the Fail Mary. Did you know it was Golden Tate?
No, I think I would have said Doug Baldwin.
Yeah,
When
I
you
would've
first
too.
said it,
Yeah.
I was thinking Doug Baldwin.
Pete says, damn it. There's always next time, Pete.
Next time, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was a good one.
That's a
long one, too.
pod, yeah.
Yeah, we got it all.
You got a little carried away with the follow-ups in the top 10.
That's all right. That's cool, though. But Chris Simms Unbuttoned podcast, brought to you by Verizon.
Brought to you by Verizon.
Is done
Soon
for today.
to be written on Chris's collar.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but they better pay me some good money to do that. I don't like my collars. Don't mess with my collars, man. But good stuff today.
That was fun.
Seriously, you the man. Thanks for all the right questions. Tomorrow is Chris Simms Unbuttoned, PFTPM. Joint Picks collaboration. We'll do that. And again, get at me with any of this stuff we asked today. I love answering the football questions. I really do. The audience has been great with it. My top 10, I know not everybody's going to agree with it. So let's discuss it. It's okay. You can even say, hey, screw you, Chris, on the way if you want to. I don't care. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss. Everybody be good out there. Enjoy this week's games, and peace out.
No more Jeff Epstein.
No more Jeff Epstein.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.